Well, hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to episode 2 in our Solver webinar series. Today's episode, Plan, Budget and Forecast with Solver for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. My name is Michael, I'm your host today. And I just want to, quickly, I know that was a relatively long title for this particular webinar. So there's a few things that we're covering today. I mentioned that it is episode 2 in this series. So the first episode was around reporting with Solver for Dynamics 365 Business Central. Today, the focus is on planning, budgeting and forecasting with the Solver solution, still connecting to your Dynamics 365 Business Central solution. So welcome back to those that came for the first episode. Don't worry though if you didn't. If you missed the first episode, don't worry. We will do a quick recap on the content around reporting. So today's session still flows into the planning, budgeting and forecasting piece as well. My name is Michael, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm your host today. My focus and role at Professional Advantage is looking after our existing client business, and I'm in the team that manages our clients. So I'm really interested in today's session to make sure that you as our clients are getting the most out of your Business Central solution and then looking to extend that with the Solver piece across your planning, budgeting and forecasting operations. And joining me today is Abdallah. Hi Abdallah, how are you?
You.
Excellent. So Abdallah is one of our senior BI consultants. He's been working in the business intelligence, corporate performance management space for quite some time now. I won't give away the number of years, Abdallah, but experienced, I think, is the right word to use. And in terms of presentation today, focusing on the Solver solution, I did confirm with Abdallah. He did say that I could use the word love. Abdallah loves the Solver solution. and that'll come through in today's presentation as you watch Abdallah take us through Solver. You can see there's a real passion, not just for the content and the concepts around planning, but also for the Solver solution, which is great. And Abdallah, of course, will work through the questions with me at the end of the session today as well. And just before we officially start, I do want to do an acknowledgement here of country. And we begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land on which we meet today. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. We further extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples online with us today, participating in our event. Thank you. And on that note, I would like to hand over to Abdallah to take us through the demonstration. Now there is, as I mentioned, Abdallah will do a quick recap on the reporting piece and then go into the planning, budgeting and forecasting. There's a lot of content to get through today, so we'll just jump straight into the actual demonstration, the presentation.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael. Thanks to everyone for joining us today again. In today's webinar, I'm going to show you Solver from budgeting and planning perspective. Last week, we have covered off the Solver from reporting and analysis perspective. Before starting on the planning functions, as Michael mentioned, I'm going to just do a quick recap on what we have covered off last week. As discussed, Solver is a cloud-based CPM solution, which covers all your reporting and planning functions and planning needs, whether we are talking about operation, financial, sales planning, or reporting. It is cloud-based, hosted on Microsoft Azure. It has its own data warehouse. It is seamless integrated with all Microsoft products like Business Central and Power BI, but also you can integrate it with any other product like your payroll, your CRM system, with any other source. Our focus today on Business Central. This is the portal or the web portal of Solver, and as we mentioned again last week, it's all web. You can access it from anywhere, from anytime, just using your browser. All the magic happens here. Reporting, planning, integration, admin tasks. You don't need to go out of this portal or this screen. These are the reporting functions, and you can access the reports from here. Just write the keyword of the report or click on the report, or you can access it from the process manager. Process manager, where you design a process, steps to close, for example, or to complete your monthly reporting or quarterly reporting cycle. So here you just define step by step, assign users for each step, and also can set a due date. And once you do that, that user will receive a notification here, an email just telling him or telling her that you have a task to access this report. And he just or she can access the report from here or directly from the email. So we have seen several examples last week. I'll just cover. I'll show you. This is the quick one, which is a quick P&L report. And as you see here, we have the accounts in rows, and we have several versions and columns. And you can drill down and roll up automatically based on how your account category is built in Business Central. And when we integrate with Business Central, any master data would be refreshed or updated here automatically. Means if you added a new account in Business Central, that would be updated here automatically and located in the correct group. You can drill down, roll up, or you can drill through the ledger details or any sub ledgers like revenue, for example. So that's the detailed transactions which made up this number. Any report can be exported to Excel or PDF. You can write comments anytime, or you can share any report to other user. And here you can share also the reports to external users, non-solver users, and that user would receive export of this report on his or her email. You can schedule the reports distribution, so you can create a jobs. These jobs could be manually, monthly, daily, weekly, up to you, and set the users and set the time of the reception at the recipient, and this user would receive a copy of these reports based on the schedule. Also, we have seen this is the ad hoc reporting, which is a way for what we call it ad hoc query. Let's say, for example, you are a user and you don't have a technical experience and you don't need to build a report. So you can come here without any technical knowledge. You can build any kind of query or reporting like this one, for example, and you can share it or save it and access it anytime. You can to build PowerPoint or to share your reports in presentation style or PowerPoint style. You don't need to do it. You don't need to export the reports and build PowerPoint. You can present directly from here. So here we have all different reports shown as objects. So you can use them in your presentations, in your report presentation, and you still within Solver, so you can still drill down, drill through, and use all Solver functions. And then we have seen the integration with the Power BI, and I'll show you some Power BI dashboards which can help and which can support our planning functions. And also we have seen the quick start. As discussed, quick start is kind of pre-built content for Business Central. Means when we implement Business Central, or you as a Business Central customer, you do not start from scratch. We start from pre-built ledger model, pre-built account receivable, pre-built account payable with more than 80 plus assets like several reports, several planning forms, and several Power BI dashboards. And as mentioned again last week, next month we have another webinar focusing on this quick start and the pre-built content for Business Central. More than enough for reporting, and now let's get to the interesting topics today, the planning. You can access planning again from input templates, same like reporting, search by the template name, or access the category from here, or use these assignments. Assignments, when you build a workflow for your process, again, step by step, you assign who's responsible for each step, what's the approval levels and the review level for each step. So let's take, for example, this is the very beginning step for your budget, which is setting your strategy. And here I have example for strategy setting, and this is where you can write your company strategy, your organization strategy, and you do it by year and by scenario. Then you can move to the high level goals for the 5 years, for example. That's the current planning year, or the current budget year, and that's the following 4 years. So you set your top management, or the high level goals which achieve or match this strategy. Then you can start, go ahead and start on your actual budgeting or actual planning. So I would start with this very basic and simple planning method, which is what we call a zero-based budgeting, or the top-down, bottom-up planning. And in this example, you just need to select your filters, and these filters could be pre-selected or predefined for you by the budget managers. In the budget manager, just select the filters and assign the template as a task for you. Then all what you need to do, access this template, enter the budget, and click complete task or save numbers. So what we do here, we enter the budget or the figures at the account level for the selected department and selected version, as if you are using Excel. Enter the numbers and press complete task, complete assignments, or just save the numbers. You can copy and paste numbers, or you can write Excel equations like this. So let's say we have expected 10% increase, and you can drag the equation as if you are using Excel. You can enter comment at the line or at the account, or at any time you can see here the log activity and write comment for every time you access the form, and write what you have done, or any note to other users. Let's say you need to spread the number across the year. I'm just going to clear this one. I'll go to spreading here. So I need to spread 1200 across the year, and the spreading method is evenly, means equal distribution. So I got here 100 every month. Let's do 12,000. So now I spread it 12,000 across the year. Sometimes you need to spread the number, but taking into consideration the historical performance. So I need to spread this number, but taking into consideration my last actual, for example. So I'm spreading this number, but according to the performance. And this is very useful when we have any kind of seasonal business, for example. So you don't care about what's the high season and low season, or when you pay any expenses. You just copy the actual performance. Or you just need to start your budget by copying the last actual. In this case, you need just to go to adjust and select, I need to copy my last actual, my 2020 actual, plus 10%, for example. This is simply will copy the last 2020 actual or 2020 forecast plus 10%. Sometimes you have a detailed budgeting beyond your GL account. So let's say, for example, we have a rent account here, and we need to enter our rents, but we need to keep track of the individual rents. So let's say, for example, we pay rent for building 1. This one, and that's the same amount every month. So what we have here, we have a line details, the item details, and the total of the entry is saved against the account. And anytime you can report these details. That's for what we call it the direct entry or the bottom-up planning. So also we can build any kind of driver-based budgeting. So where we have kind of drivers or assumptions, and we need to calculate our budget based on these assumptions. I have example here for CapEx, for example. This is example of CapEx planning. Again, you select your filters. So let's say when you expect investment in computers for finance, new iPads for the team, and we expect to buy this is by end of the financial year here in May, and the cost of everyone is 1,800, and we will buy 5. So that's your assets or your investment in May. And if we scroll right, we would find the depreciation and accumulated depreciation calculated for you and posted to your P&L and balance sheet. And the calculation done based on the life of the asset, of the selected asset type. If we change it, this is just for testing. You would find the number changed here, the number of months, and the depreciation and all calculations has been changed. And that's done based on the assumption screen. And again, this assumption could be based on the year and the version, the selected version. I have here payroll assumptions, CapEx assumptions, the days per month assumptions, and also I have here the exchange rate assumptions. So you can change the assumption and select and save it to any version and apply what we call it what if scenario. So what if we have increased salary increase in May, for example? What if we applied bonus, 10% bonus? What if the exchange rate changed by any increased or decreased? What if the COVID has an impact or any of our business assumptions? And now I have other examples. I'm happy to show you. So the top down. So this is example of top-down planning, and when you implement Solver on top of Business Central, you get this one as a part of the pre-built content. I'll just show you the forecast. So in this one, we do not go step by step or account by account. We just set the desired net income, for example. I'll just take the expected closing net income is, I'll just enter here. So when you enter the desired net income here, your P&L or all your trial is populated based on the performance of the last year or the selected history here. Then you can go ahead and apply what if scenario. So that's my starting net income, but I would expect increase on the cost of sales by 10% and increase on my revenue by 15%. Or you can go ahead and do it account by account and override these the account group assumptions. Or you can do it at the department level. So although I'm having, for example, 10% increase in all, but I just needed to make 20% for professional service, for example, and 15% for human resource. Then you would see the expected net income based on these assumptions. I have other quick examples here, balance sheet and cash flow planning. So this is a balance sheet, just example of balance sheet budgeting. You have the cash equivalents, the accounts receivable. You just enter the account receivable terms, and you'll get your numbers and your figures change it, and the same for account payable. And then you can enter the closing balance of each account, and the template will show you the movement, the expected movement for each month based on your entry. The same for cash flow. Have here two parts, the cash inflows and cash outflows, and the rest are the figures generated from your P&L and balance sheet. So you can change it by let's change, for example, the inflow here. We expect numbers from loans, and once you enter the number here, all the figures here will be changed. And you can do it by percentage or by amount. And also here on the cash outflow, you can change per individual accounts. So let's say we expect a change in the marketing by percent or by amount, and then you would see the expecting ending cash balance for the across the year. Also, you can have multi-year planning. Where you have the detailed planning of the first year, then you can plan, or you can see the next 5 or 10 years planning, and you can do that by quarter, like what we built here, or you can just have one column for each year. And you can build assumptions to generate all these the figures for the following years. Like we expect first year is just 10%. The first year is the following year is 10%. The closing of last year plus 10%, and so on. Now I'd like to jump to Power BI and show you how we can utilize Power BI integration to support our planning. And I have 2 examples here. Remember last week we have seen all these dashboards, which is built using pre-built connector for Power BI. And as mentioned last year, the data here are loaded from not just Business Central. It could be from Business Central, from your CRM system, and any other system. And all these data is consolidated. These that are consolidated in Solver data warehouse and easily reported here in Power BI or in Solver itself. I'm going to focus on the planning now. So this is a cash flow simulation. So here, what you need, just you select your history. So we need to show our cash flow for 2020 for all the year and for all the group, for all the company, and that's, I'll just make it 0. And that was the ending balance of the cash flow. And this all the key component of our cash flow. Then you can build, or you can do what if, or your what if scenario. So what if our product revenue increased by 10%, for example, and we expect our or we target our service revenue to increase by 10%, but at the same time we expect our cost of sales increase by 20% and our operating expenses increase by 10%. Then you can change your account payable expectations or account payable terms and receivable as well. And let's say you expect to have let's start by 0. So expect to have less cash from investing for compared to the selected year, and we expect increase from financing. And that's the expected cash ending balance. Then you can jump directly from here to the cash flow planning or cash flow budgeting to see how to achieve this cash ending balance in details. Other simulation I'd like to show you here is the sales simulation. And this is, again, we select the history. I'm going to build my simulation based on 2018, select all the months, and that's my, I would expect increase on the sales price by 10%, and we would increase our headcount by 10%. Then the size of the deal would be increased by 5%, and the qualified deals 5%. Then the win rate is 5%. Then you would see the that's your sales target. Then from here you can jump straight away to the Solver and see how to achieve this number in Solver by individual employees. So that's the number here. We expect 18 million. So that's the target. Then you can, and when you write the target here, all this number, all the budget is populated automatically for you based on the history, based on your history for each employee. Then you can go ahead and start adjust by employees to see what's the expected net revenue or sales for each for your team. The last template here I would like to finish my demo with is the sales forecast. What we see here is this is sales forecast. We have year-to-date sales figures from Business Central, and we have the pipeline from CRM. Then we have here the budget for in our data warehouse. So you can based on the actual performance, you can go ahead and change or update your pipeline. You can update individually like this, or you can just say we expect 10% increase, and this will update the pipeline month, or you can update the budget or focus remaining months. With that, I finished my presentation, and if you have any individual or any specific example you want to see or any specific question, we are happy to arrange individual call with anyone that has example or business case we need to see, he or she need to see how to present that or how to build that in Solver. Thank you, and I'll hand over back to Michael.
Excellent, thank you, Abdallah. I really like that simulation content, and you obviously you made it look nice and easy as well. But I just like that user interface and then that transition there over to Solver as well. That was excellent.
Yeah.
Abdallah, we do have some questions that have come through.
Yeah.
So are you up for a little bit of?
Yeah.
I'll do the Q and you do the A. You're up for a little bit of Q and A. So I'll just read them here. So okay, so this one's from an existing budget within Business Central. Can we load the existing budget from Business Central?
Oh yes. That's one of the functions that's had pre-built on the integration. We load from Business Central your budget figures. If there is a budget figures, we load your actual, and we load also your master data, your dimensions, your accounts, and any master data in Business Central for ledger, for account receivable, and for account payable. So the short answer, yes, you can do it.
The answer is a definite yes, and from all of those areas as well. So not yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you. Just another few questions have come through, and just as a reminder, as we're doing it, happy for you to just pop your questions on the right-hand side of your screen there in the GoToWebinar panel. So just pop those in, and we'll go through them now for you quickly. So Abdallah, another question here. Oh, actually, this is going the other way. I think it is. So again, with Business Central, are we able to export the final approved budget to Business Central?
Oh yes.
If I understand it correctly, I think we're going the other way in that regard.
Yeah. So although you can do all your analysis and actual versus budget reporting in in Solver, but you still can export it back to Business Central. And customers prefer to do that if they have any sales purchase budgeting or budget check you want to apply it in Business Central. So yes, you can send it back to Business Central, and you can have it automated, or you can do it via CSV or Excel.
Okay, excellent. So again, that's a definite yes, and good that we can get that back into BC there as well. Visibility within Business Central again. Okay. Okay, we've got another question here. So this is a bit of a two-pronged question around budget. So can you build a budget with budgets at both dimension and GL level?
Yes, we have seen some examples of this. So
okay,
you do it per department, for example, and GL. Is or by company and GL, or any kind of any kind, or actually when we build the ledger model or any model in Solver, we reflect all your business dimensions or custom dimensions in Business Central, and you can use any of them in reporting and budgeting as well.
Okay, excellent. Good question there too. Good combination question now, the dimensions and GL level.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another question that's come through. Okay, so this is utilizing Excel here with this question. So can I import my budget assumptions and drivers from Excel?
Yes, definitely. You can import anything from Excel. Even you can import transactions or actual if you have actual or transaction in Excel. But you can import the assumptions, and also you can import these assumptions or drivers from your CRM or from any other system, and get your budget calculated based on these assumptions. Like for example, your payroll, you can export all payroll salaries from your HR system and get the calculations based on this integration or in these imports.
Okay, excellent. Now, I've just got one more question. This is a bit of a tricky question, maybe for you, Abdallah, because you, as I mentioned earlier, you love Solver, and you presented and made this look so easy. But the question is, So from our experience,
Yeah.
how long does it take users to be trained up to be able to use Solver?
That's a good question. So we have two kinds of users. So if you are a end user who just use reporting and use planning, this is few hours training, 3-4 hours maximum, just to use Solver. And if you need to build reports and to build budgeting forms or templates, that's maximum 2 days to do that.
Okay, so again, getting to that kind of top level of use and design and creation is still not onerous in terms of that training, and you can leverage some knowledge of other applications. They leverage knowledge of Excel, for example, there as well.
So if everything you know in Excel is utilized or in Solver. So Solver, or I'm talking about the development environment. So you don't need to learn coding. You don't need to learn any other technology. It's all Microsoft and all Excel. So you build in Excel and you deploy in Solver.
Excellent. There you go. No wonder you made it look so easy. It's it's not that hard. I don't mean to be cheeky there for you. You still made it look easy. Okay. Well, look, that's it from the questions so far from today's session. But if you do have any other questions, or if you want to reach out to your account manager, please do so, and those questions can come back to us. If you're not sure who your account manager is, you've got my contact details there on the screen. Just reach out and I can connect you into your account manager. But as we also said at the beginning of the session, we will be following up with the content from today with the recorded session as well, and account managers will reach out and have a chat to you about the session too. And then the last thing we wanted to just note there, Abdallah, is what next, what to come along to and hear from us next. And this is, as we mentioned right at the beginning, this is a series, a webinar series. So now we've done the reporting one first up, we've done today's session, and the third part in the series is the combination content and workshop. Now, this session on the 8th of June, it's actually a longer session and some really specific content there. And we've done a few things. We've broken it up into 2 sessions. So there's on the same day, session 1 and session 2. And the 2 sessions, you can definitely register for both. We'd love you to come along to both. But if you want to just come along to the first demonstration part of the session, so that'll be a walkthrough of reporting, planning, dashboards, analytics, and we're actually going to go through the Solver data connector for Business Central. So that'll be a really good session to come along and have a look at. Then we'll have a break, have a little rest, and then we'll go into the second session. Now, the second session is actually a hands-on lab. So that'll be a really nice workshop where you'll actually be able to connect the Business Central general ledger to Solver and load data into Solver. We're also going to browse the template marketplace, select and deploy some reports over Business Central General Ledger, and then finishing off by building a profit and loss report. So personally, I think that'll be a really great session to come along to. And it is, as I said, we've broken it down into those 2 pieces. So there's the first, the overview and the connection into Business Central demonstration, but then the hands-on labs, which would be really nice to get involved with. And we'd love to see you come along to those sessions. We have actually dropped the registration link into the chat within today's webinar, so you can sign up and register for that straight away. Okay, on that note, I'd like to just say thank you to everyone for coming along and joining session 2 today. We really look forward to seeing you at session 3, and I think that will be a really great session. Thanks, Abdallah, for today's presentation. Again, covering a lot of great content there in a relatively short amount of time. We look forward to seeing you at the next session. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk again soon.